in the brain. That's what they say. We all live out here, we got lead in the brain.
More than 1,000 people in East Chicago, Indiana, are scrambling to find new homes. Their entire neighborhood is contaminated with lead and arsenic.
First, high lead levels in the soil, and now in the water. Residents in East Chicago can't seem to catch a break.
I moved here in May. In June came and EPA came in and informed all the residents that the soil and the water was highly contaminated with lead and arsenic. I spent at least $300 to $400 a month in water purchases from the store. I use the water that I buy for everything, for cooking, for bathing, for everything. When the Flint, Michigan situation happened, I was buying cases and cases of water to take to my daughter's school so that it could be donated to Flint. It's like deja vu. When I moved over here in May, no one told me about the lead and arsenic contamination. If I had have known, I would never have moved over here. They didn't disclose that. And yet, they called me for this apartment to move over here. Why do that if you knew that this area was highly contaminated?
I've been living in East Chicago, West Calumet area all my life. This is where I was born and raised, right here. Our house used to be right there. I love Calumet. I have Calumet in my heart, and everybody that knows me knows that. Everybody get along. You don't see too many communities like our community. It doesn't even look like a housing complex, you know, as they call it, a project. It looks like a subdivision. We have refinery companies right around us. We're surrounded by lead plants, USS Lead, DuPont, Anaconda, Eagle Pitcher. We never knew the harm that the lead would cause people. All our families worked at these places. That's the way we looked at it, you know, it's putting food on the table.
East Chicago is a low-income community of color that has disproportionately been exposed to environmental harm. The West Calumet housing complex was built on top of a former lead smelter that had not been properly cleaned up. That's public housing. Officials knew about this contamination as early as 1985 when the last lead smelter closed. Nothing happened at the site until 2009 when the site was finally listed under Superfund, which is a federal law that provides for the cleanup of the most contaminated sites in the country. And it really wasn't until it began undertaking more serious testing between 2014 and 2016 that EPA realized just how contaminated the soil was. It discovered that there were properties that were hundreds of times greater than the level that it would normally use as an action level for cleanup.
Hold your hands over there. Here you are. They sent everybody letters and told us where they were moving us to. I have an account with every apartment website that you can think of. When I find apartments, I call and it's always the same thing. They don't accept Section 8. You know, I know that I can't stay here, and who would want to stay here with everything that's going on now? But the only thing that I'm asking is allow me to find somewhere to go, one, and allow my kids to finish school. I am afraid that I'm going to be evicted. They want everybody out.
East Chicago, unfortunately, is a representation of a number of communities across the country. We would never allow these types of situations to happen in Beverly Hills. We should use examples like Flint and examples like East Chicago as something that never will happen again. We should make sure that planners are thinking more strategically about where we place things and whose lives might be impacted by that. We have to make sure that we are truly valuing the lives of communities of color and low-income communities because their lives matter and their futures matter.
The head of the Environmental Protection Agency visits East Chicago, where people have been living on toxic land for decades.
We are here because 90% of the homes in East Chicago have lead contaminated water. That's why we're here. We are here because thousands of families' lives are at risk.
We're going to be outside those doors, media, podium, the podium this way.
There are 1,322 Superfund sites across the country. This is my first visit to a Superfund site in East Chicago. And the reason I'm here is because it's important that we restore confidence for the people here in this community. Please know that it's the EPA's objective, my objective as the administrator of the EPA, to come in and make sure that people's health is protected here in East Chicago. We're committed to doing that, doing it in a very efficient and effective way so that we can get back and see progress in this community. Thank you for the time, and Governor, again, thank you for bringing this team together. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Commissioner, can we take some questions? Can we take some questions?
I'm absolutely exhausted. It's on my mind every day what I have had to endure. You know, I want a normal life for my kids. This hasn't been normal. It used to be my home. Now, you know, I feel trapped.
It happened in Flint, last year? And now it's here? Where's it going to now? And it has to all do with poor black people. I want my home back. I want my surroundings back. I want my neighborhood back. I want the people from my neighborhood to stay. But we know that won't happen. But it sure would be nice if they could.